Tallulah's toe shoes. Tallulah could stand like a ballerina. Tallulah could move like a ballerina too. But Tallulah knew she'd never be a ballerina until she got a pair of pink satin toe shoes. Ever since her ballet school's performance of Sleeping Beauty, that was all she could think about. Some of the older girls at the school danced on point, up on their toes in point shoes. One of them got to be the beautiful Lilac Fairy. She wore a glittery tutu and a tiara. Tallulah was a village girl. She wore a short brown dress and carried a hoop of fake flowers. She didn't get to dance on her toes. She got to sway. "When can I get toe shoes?" she asked her mother right after the performance. "When you're a little older," her mother replied. "That's not fair," Tallulah huffed silently. "The kids in tap class get their fancy shoes right away." Then one day in class, her teacher said, "Tallulah, what excellent feet. You're going to be wonderful on point someday." "When is someday?" Tallulah asked. "When your feet are ready, when they've stopped growing," her teacher said. "But my feet are ready," Tallulah thought. After class, she stomped into the dressing room. The older girls were there tying on their point shoes. The Lilac Fairy was one of them. "Well, these are wrecked," she said, studying her shoes. "Good thing I brought a new pair." With a thud, she tossed the old ones into the wastebasket. Tallulah's mouth made an O. She put her clothes on over her leotard and typed very, very slowly. Soon she was the only one left in the room. She darted over to the wastebasket and stared at the shoes. They didn't look wrecked. They looked splendid. "I'll show everyone just how ready I am," Tallulah told herself. "I will be the youngest dancer to ever dance on point." Snatching the shoes, she stuffed them in her bag and ran out the door. At home, she ran straight to her room. She hugged the toe shoes, then leaned over to put them on. But which was right and which was left? She couldn't tell. "Eeny, meeny, miny, moe," she decided and slipped into the shoes. They were a little big. She took them off again and stuffed some tissues inside. "That's better," she thought. Then she crisscrossed the ribbons on her ankle, just the way real ballerinas did, and tied them into two neat bows. They looked perfect. "Releve, Tallulah," she said out loud. She rose on her toes and promptly plodded to the floor. Pulling herself up by her chair, she tried again and fell down again. Then she held on to the doorknob and tried once more. Biting her lip, she bent her knees to get on her toes. That made it easier, but when she looked in the mirror, she didn't look much like the Lilac Fairy. She looked more like a rat. A rat! That was what her brother Beckett had played in Sleeping Beauty as one of the evil fairy servants. Then suddenly she remembered. The Lilac Fairy had danced with a handsome prince. Tallulah didn't have a handsome prince, but she did have a brother, and he even took ballet. "Wow, where did you get those?" Beckett asked when he saw her shoes. "Never mind that now. I need you to be the prince." Okay," he said. Tallulah gave him her hand and rose up on her toes. Her knees buckled. "Stand up taller," she commanded. "I'm standing as tall as I can," he replied. Tallulah sighed. "Get on the chair," she said. Beckett did. This time when he took her hand, Tallulah stayed on point. "I'm a princess and I'm dancing on my toes," she thought, but her toes were beginning to hurt. "Now I'm going to move in a circle," Tallulah said. "Hold on tight." "I'm the Lilac Fairy and I'm turning on my toes," Tallulah thought. But her toes hurt even worse. Can we stop now? Beckett asked. This is boring. Boring? Don't you want to be the prince someday? I'd rather be a rat. It was a lot more fun, Beckett said. He scurried around the room doing his ratty steps. Or maybe cat, Puss in Boots. Then go away. A real ballerina doesn't need rats or cats in her room, Tallulah commanded, standing on her toes once more. Beckett shrugged and scurried out. As soon as he was gone, Tallulah sank to the floor. Ow, she moaned. Ow, ow, ow. She pulled off the shoes. Her toes were hot and red. I can't do it. I can't dance on point, she whispered. I'll never be the princess or the lilac fairy. Never, ever. All week, Tallulah was sad, but she didn't tell anyone why. After her next ballet class, she waited again in the dressing room till everyone had gone. She took the toe shoes out of her dance bag and looked at them with a sigh. Then she tossed them into the wastebasket. At that very moment, the lilac fairy came back into the room. She raised an eyebrow at Tallulah, walked over to the wastebasket, and looked inside. Are those my old point shoes? Tallulah lowered her eyes. Did you take them home? Still not looking at the older girl, Tallulah blushed and nodded. For a moment, the lilac fairy was silent. Then she said, Did your toes hurt when you put them on? This time, Tallulah did look up. The girl was trying not to smile. And did you stand like this? She bent over just the way Tallulah had. She looked like a rat, too. A big one. Yes, Tallulah whispered. This time, the girl did smile. I never thought I'd get my own point shoes and learn to dance on my toes, but I did. She rose beautifully on point and did several quick little steps, back and forth. Just then, Beckett stuck his head in the door. Tallulah, come and watch. We're learning 5th position. He hurried back to class. That's my brother, Tallulah explained. He was a rat in the Sleeping Beauty ballet. He's gonna be Puss in Boots in that ballet someday. He probably will be, said the girl. She grabbed a towel from her cubby. And someday I'm going to be the lilac fairy, Tallulah announced. Maybe if you're good enough and you work really hard. The girl patted her hair, which was in a bun, and waved goodbye over her shoulder. Tallulah looked down at the toe shoes in the basket. Not someday, maybe. Someday, definitely, she said. Then, patting her hair, which was still just a little too short to put in a bun, she leaped across the room to join her brother.